What I think is most interesting, I was just playing back in my head. I didn't listen to it, but I just remember like the context of that show. You would just open Space Station Prospect here.
Mm-hmm.
We are going live from Prospect Ave. We kept it super local today. Um, and I remember saying to you, you know, oh, you're brand new. Like nothing's even happened yet.
Right.
Fuck, man, did he get it?
Right.
The entrepreneurial gods were like, we will rain all brimstone and hellfire and damnation on you and
We're gonna
see
show
if
you
can
what's up.
survive.
Yep.
Jesus
Yep.
Christ. I was thinking maybe you'd get like, you know, a lawsuit for someone slipping on the sidewalk out front, or like a pipe would burst and like rain water down on one of your game stations or something like that.
Yeah.
I did
Who's
not
to say
think
that stuff didn't happen too?
yeah, but I'm just saying, I did not think it was going to be a fucking pandemic. So, John, when did you open Space Station?
I opened it up in February, the end of February. You know, it was a
February 2020.
different type of world back then.
Much different place. And, Star Wars had not become a reality yet.
Right. And then we, you know, we were rocking along there for like 2 weeks, and you know, everything was just like so fantastic.
Fucking great 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, it was like the world was our oyster. And then, you know. I came on this show, acted as a harbinger of the apocalypse. I don't know. I wasn't aware of that when it happened, but that's what occurred. And the next day, March 7th, my birthday, we had this huge, nice party for me, and we had our first like birthday party where we made money doing it for a kid. And it was like, yes, this is all taking off and doing good. We were happy. You came by. You were like, you know, all right, we're doing right.
Yep.
And then like the next day, it was done. Right. We were discussing that. We were like. Just the next March 8th, it was like things started to shut down, and like a week later, the schools were closed, and it was done. And I was like, existential dread. What's going on here?
Right. Well, so the first question is like, what was going through your head? You're like, yeah, I heard this can be difficult opening a business. I heard shit can come undone. Like brand new. Prior, you were a teacher for like quite a long time, so it was like your first foray into like private business ownership, and you get hit with a goddamn pandemic.
I know. I mean, you know, one thing that kept me, you know, to keep everything in perspective was like talking to, you know, guys like you who are also business owners, Dellas and Juice Box. Might want to throw that out there for you.
You got to say it 2 more times to get the check.
And then they all right, good. I'll sprinkle it in there later on in the show. And you know, you would tell me about like how you were struggling to make sure that everybody was able to stay on payroll and like, you know, able to keep going. And you got all these different responsibilities for all these different people and vendors and all this. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, I just opened up. It's just me. Like I'm just responsible for myself right now. I didn't do anything beyond that. So like maybe, you know, in a lot of ways, this is fortunate timing for me that I didn't, you know, 3 months into this, 4 months into this, where I'd gotten more established and started to really like bring on people that now depended on me to have this happen and then have to figure all that out. So I didn't have to figure that out. I was able to just kind of focus on, you know, other, like just everything else that was going on at that time.
But you weren't able to operate like at all.
No, for a long time we weren't able to operate.
There was like nothing you really could
really
do. Like I could, you know, I could at least do takeout and you know, sell cocktails to go.
Right.
Keep
I
able
wasn't able to do any sort of that stuff. Right.
Yeah.
But then, you know, eventually we were able to start having camps again, and we were able to do you know, COVID rules, masked up, distancing and things like that. And you know, the kids took to it really well. And a lot of time what I found was, you know, when I first opened this place, I thought we were going to be like really high tech, like going into like delving into coding and figuring out how these different games work and all this stuff, right? Like that was like I was totally for. And then, you know, as soon as this stuff happened, I found myself becoming like a social skills teacher because I was reintroducing kids to the world again after all this time. So like my job completely changed, and it was just like now I just have to make sure that everybody is happy and able to speak to one another again in a way that like shows that we are all human. And you know, I tried really. Thankfully, I've had a lot of years working in the schools and be able to bounce a lot of different personalities against each other. So I think I did a good job of that, and I think, you know, the kids were able that did come back to me, and I was their first experience back in the real world. I think they benefited from that. So at least I can kind of, you know, put my hat on that.
No, that's a great point, you know, because we do go into all these things with our vision, and it's like, oh, this is what we're going to do. This is my passion. And you have to respond to, you know, to your community and to your clientele. And it doesn't mean you still can't do that, but that's, I know, like, you know, in service, you know, like, and we all are in service in some way, but, you know, in food service, like that's the first step is just like establishing that happiness and communication before you get to like really do
right.
the other things that you want to do.
Of course,
you have to establish that trust, and that's usually where it comes from.
If you don't have, the people that are working for you, the people that are bringing in the food for you, the people that are, supplying all of the materials for you, that if they're not like engaged with you and want to be there with you, then but
the customer as well.
And the customer too. Yeah, of course. Yeah. You gotta factor in the customer.
And then,
but all of that leads into the customer experience, right? Like, that's, yeah.
But I think you could still build that over time. Like I would say, for Della, as an example, I mean, it's more of a challenging kind of menu in place. Sure. It's not,
you got a lot of moving
like,
parts.
Yeah. And then just not like a very ordinary, your average meal, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we really had to like work hard on establishing that trust.
Yeah, my dude serves duck.
Dude, I love duck.
Yeah.
So, you kind of have to like stick to your guns in a way as far as that goes too, where it's just like, okay, but this is really what we want to do, and like continue to provide that experience, like you said, where, I mean, we've had to do the same thing, man. It's so odd. The way people like, they were homebound for like a few months and forgot how to like come in the door and say, hi, do you have space for two? Like the things that people do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see it everywhere. Like, people coming back into there's all this like pent up crazy, right? Like crazy doesn't just go away. It doesn't just dissipate, right? So it's there. So it's been building up. And now you just have crazy, weird explosions of crazy everywhere now, man. And you just have to like, okay, man, you're getting your crazy out. Hopefully it's not going to like mess up my world.
Right. I mean, I just try to be patient. I mean, for me, nothing really changed. I continue doing the same thing that I did on a daily basis, but it is weird to see people kind of come out that way. And then you, as you said, you kind of got to be the usher of normalcy again.
Right.
Somebody came in last night and I was busy and they were like, can we grab a table? And I was like, yeah, just sit down right there. And it took me a minute to get to them. And they had their phones out already, like expecting that it was going to be a QR code. And I walked up with menus, and they were like,
"What?
You have menus?
Wow, how quaint!"
And I was like,
"Man, things have changed."
I'm like, and I don't go, I don't get to go out much, so I know. See what everybody else does, but I'm like, man,
Nora and I went out for like the first time in like 5 years, I feel like. And we were like, how do we do this?
20 years.
We're like waiting there for them to come around for the menu for like 20 minutes. Like,
and they're like, no, dude, you just order online.
It's like, wait, what's that thing? Oh my God, it's a QR code. What? Okay.
But there's places where you hit the QR code, you place your order, you pay, you do all that stuff, and the person just comes and drops off.
Sure. Like, eventually it'll just be a drone dropping it off, man.
Not for me. That's what I don't know. I could go either way. I either want like full intimacy or full automation.
Sure.
Like I either don't want to be there at all, and I just want the deposits to come into my bank account.
Right. You can have the drones do that for you too.
Something, well, they already do. right. Or all up in it. The hybrid, I don't.
Sure. I hear you. Yeah, no, you gotta
so much.
Yeah. One direction or another. That's why you get two places, so that you can go in both directions at once.
Speaking of two places,
was I segueing there? Was that what just happened?
That was really nice.
I thought so.
I didn't know where you were gonna go with that.
He
was like, you go both ways.
Listen, man.
I'm like, did you see the Chappelle special yet?
I keep it. I'm family guy over here. Not Family Guy, Fox Family Guy. Like, family oriented over here. You can handle the adult crowd.
Even my daughters.
Don't try to drag me down into your depths.
I will always. The newest thing with my older two daughters is D's nuts jokes.
Oh God.
And we're always trying to get each other. Yeah. I'm like, our family is complete now.
I was a high school teacher for like 20 years.
All that stuff.
It's really
tricks.
Yeah.
So speaking of two places.
Okay. Yeah.
We are sitting within, and we're going to go to break in a minute, but we might as well preface it.
Sure.
We probably should.
You have 30 seconds to explain. Now go.
Too dirty. Like he's started potty talk already. We need to cut the break. We are sitting in, for the moment, it's called Fright on Prospect, but a new space across the street from his Space Station Prospect location, which is all right here on Prospect Ave.
Yeah, Prospect Ave.
The beloved home of so many businesses and mine included, and a great place to be. And so we'll talk a little bit further when we get back, but we are zooming live from from the newest addition to Prospect Ave.
Yeah, hopefully a nice new addition. That's what the hope is, right?
I dig it. I dig the vibe. I dig the vibe. We're sitting on like a 1980s Burger Time.
Sure.
Tabletop arcade, taking me back. So hang tight, everybody. We'll explain more when we come back from this short break. See you in a minute. What do you got? What are you?
Transformers, man.
Transformers. All right. Not very scary. Not like
I know. Well, but I love Transformers.
No,
that's my thing, man.
We'll get to that too.
All right.
That I was thinking about something on the way here. That we'll talk about. So welcome back.
I had a costume.
You should have worn it.
Nah, the whole thing.
So the entrepreneurial web, the serious side of the show. Welcoming back to the show.
Yes.
Brooklyn's own Johnny Busso. Forget about it.
I feel like you did it like that way last time too. I haven't even talked. You guys have been watching me. Have I talked with my hands at all? I don't think so.
He does it when he walks down the street. He goes into
I have to.
Goes into John's study. He's like, "Come and get the chicken palm,"
and it works.
Coming at you live from John's newest spot, which is affectionately known this week. Fright on Prospect. He's just taken over this new space across the street from his flagship location in Spacestation Prospect, which he opened in February of 2020. And there's first time on the show.
And then nothing exciting happened after.
Everything's been totally normal.
Totally normal since. And everything followed the path that I expected it to follow.
Which is what we talked about last time he was on the show, which was in February of 2020. And I was like, oh, you're so fresh and clean. Nothing's even happened yet. Boy, did he get that smackdown of his life.
It's true.
But like the Undertaker, he was like, I will survive.
No, Undertaker just pops right back up.
So he actually did. He actually survived the pandemic, both physically and financially.
Maybe not mentally.
Maybe not.
Who's to say how
we talked about that on the first segment.
I might not have made it mentally.
Right. You might not have been there to
begin
with.
Exactly.
So he's recently taken over a space that was one of the only vacant spots on Prospect Ave. The interesting part about what happened in Windsor Terrace, which is a neighborhood where we live and where our businesses are, and where he grew up, is that a neighborhood like this, which is very small, tight-knit, especially, we're 7-8 stops from Lower Manhattan. But like you feel like you're in the burbs.
Right.
Like
exactly.
You go to the top of the hill and you can see all of Lower Manhattan and the full skyline. It's like right there. But like down here, it's quiet and quaint. We're nestled between Prospect Park and Greenwood Cemetery.
Greenwood Cemetery is the best. Halloween tours. You should go, man.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah. I've been on a few there.
Cool. 2 500-acre green spaces though, so it's quiet and sleepy. The F train goes right through it. We're literally right above the F stop at Fort Hamilton. Should you just be on the F train and wonder what's up there, it's a great little spot to hop out. A bunch of restaurants and bars and liquor stores and all kinds of fun.
And if you hear rumblings, that's just the scenic, beautiful Prospect Expressway beginning a block away from us. But that's fine.
There's a bunch of pop cars. If it sounds like gunshots, it never is.
Just the Prospect Expressway.
It's never really gunshots. But this was a place that actually I think more businesses are open now here than they were in February of 2020.
I think
there were a handful of commercial spaces that were vacant because even before the pandemic, you started to see like small businesses feeling the crunch. It's always been hard. It's never been easy. People, the space that we're in, there were 2 restaurants, like sister restaurants next door to each other. And they pulled out maybe sometime within a year before the pandemic because of the financial, it just didn't make sense for them anymore. It's hard. It's really, really hard. So you started to see places kind of like fall off here and there. But, during the pandemic, more places opened. And now I think there's not a vacant space.
Which is nice to see, man.
At this point,
especially me growing up and over here, I would walk down this block. It was like Domino's Pizzeria and now Laundromat where Senna is, and you keep talking about this place and what I don't even remember what this spot was back then. You talk about it, how it was like.
Well, this might have been part of the Laundromat too. It might have been connected to it, but yes, for a while it was a storage unit for the West Indian Day Parade float.
Right. Yeah. So strange stuff, man. But that was the way Prospect Ave used to be, man. Venus Video. That was I used to go in there, rent my videos, and they used to get some Domino's Pizzeria. And now
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, those were good times back then.
and the other thing that happened was, fewer places were open or still are open, especially in Manhattan. And life became a little bit more localized, I think.
Yeah.
So we've definitely seen it.
I think that, and especially I think in this neighborhood too, I think we already were moving towards kind of a localized, centralized sort of community. And I think that the pandemic really solidified that. And I think, it's nice. It's a really nice thing to be involved in. And that's why I kind of doubled down on it, because, the more I've spent time interacting with people in the community, the more I see how special this place is, and I like to be here.
Perfect segue, because I was going to ask, why?
Why would you do this?
Why would you do this?
Well, the short answer is I've spent like the last 4 years across the street in my house, staring at this place, thinking about it and wanting it, since it closed down, and being like, this is a cool spot. I want this spot. I'm going to do I can do really, really good things with it. And when I first opened up Space Station, we looked here, but it was at the same time that they were involved with someone else for a little while. And so it didn't work out for me. So I took that spot over there and made that into what I wanted. And then everything happened. But somehow, some way, we made it through it. The summer, we really saw what was possible this summer with our camp, where people were so enthusiastic to be there, and we were filling up, and it was just so much fun. I got, good quality people in there to help with the kids. So I knew that, now, like, if anything, now is the time to strike. And, I saw, what I'm doing at Space Station, I'm very game centric. We're standing on, we have a Street Fighter thing over here. This console that we're leaning on right now houses 4,000 arcade games in it from our youth. So if you want to play Burger Time or Pac-Man or something like that, this has you covered.
Nice.
So I really believe in the value of that type of stuff. But I know that, there's been a lot of years of negative connotation to video games and just screens in general and all that. So
but the Burger Time is not simulated murder.
Sure, no, but there are games out there that do that.
There are,
and there are arguments that can be made that's okay. That's okay that happens, and it's not gonna cause anyone to go out and do anything to anybody because they've done that. Full disclosure, I have killed a couple of people in a video game before. It's happened. I know I probably shouldn't say that, right? Like, it's happened. Like, I've played video games and there have been, people.
So thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not like, it's just, we're just playing games.
He's just trying to be scary because it's
Halloween. It's also, right. It's also Halloween. I'm talking about, it's just, gaming it's an outlet for all of that we have. And especially after what's happened with the pandemic, being able to do something like go onto a screen and vent your frustrations out in a very safe sort of way that doesn't bother anybody else is wonderful and helpful to anybody. So I believe in that strongly, and I believe in the power of gaming as an educational tool. But there are roadblocks to that. I understand that, I fight against that for years. It's always been video games are not that way. So I want to build something that moves beyond the video games, because I'm an educator first. I started as an English teacher for many, many years before I even sniffed at doing anything in terms of the video games. I was always teaching literature. I love my class. I love to read a book. That's my my number one favorite thing. If I have to, I'll go and read the classic. I like Johnny Got His Gun. I like these old books, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, all these different types of really English teachery type books, or graphic novels and things like that. I love that type of stuff. And I want to show that is something that I appreciate too. So I'm hoping that this place here can bring that out, that this can be a more educational spot that we can marry to Space Station, where kids can come in here and they can get tutoring, they can get their homework done, they can get all sorts of educational help, and parents can receive support around the neighborhood for terms of schooling for their kids and figuring out different options for tests and all the different things, and going into middle school, going into high school, all the different options that they have. Because as a parent, both of us know what it takes to navigate this shit. Sorry, I said shit.
You can curse.
We
After
know
my intro, really?
Right? Yeah, no, I know, but I was saying, man, I'm the PG. You do you. I got a reputation to upkeep. So I really think that that parents need that support, and especially after what's been happening in the last few years, kids are they're adrift, in education. They haven't had the full-on support that they've needed for the last few years. So there's going to be a very, very big adjustment period. So the more I can help with that, the better I will feel. And I think that will make everybody happy. Like, it makes me happy because I'll make enough money to be able to open the place and be happy. And I think the parents will be able to come in and bring their kids and have them, perform the way that they're supposed to and back up to their expectations.
Mutual benefit.
Exactly.
That's what it's all
about. But until then, we're just going to have fun at this space.
So describe kind of what's happening right now.
Right
now I don't get education.
Education, not at all right now. That's like
the chains. We're tying people up.
Right. Yeah. No. We medieval education. No. We right now, I got this place and we're not opening up anything big just yet because we have to really kind of plan it out and figure out what's going on. But while I have it, I wanted to do something that was going to show that the space was open again, that we're here, that we're not going anywhere, that we're part of the community. We want everyone to come in and enjoy themselves and be a part of this that we're building. So I opened it up and I just turned it into like a fun little area with like different types of carnival games, different types of arts and crafts activities, popcorn, ice creams, things like that.
Popcorn machine.
Yeah, popcorn machine, exactly. We turn that on every Saturday morning. And we have a couple, like I said, these different little video game arcades. We have a couple of different games for kids to play and stuff like that. And we're gonna be outside. We have like face painting. Yeah, this weekend we'll be doing all that sort of stuff. And we're just gonna try and do that fun stuff for the next few months. While we still have, the weather's still decent enough and everything's okay.
I mean, the way it's going, it's not gonna get cold until March.
Right, exactly. And then come Christmas time, we're gonna do something really exciting. Yeah. So I'm not gonna talk about that one too much, but
for now, it's gonna be kind of seasonal and almost like holiday specific.
Exactly. Yeah.
And fun.
Leading up to Christmas, to a big. We're gonna have a big Christmas this year. That's
I like this idea of just like the introduction because it's like it can be very hard. It can be, like I said at the beginning, it can be scary where you come out, guns blazing. I'm gonna do this thing, pew, pew, and sometimes it doesn't work out. And
that can become very discouraging. Yeah,
and it can, and you can blow a lot of money. Like,
sure,
you've gotten in here relatively, budget minded, and you're just like feeling things.
I will never speak of the finances.
You don't have to said budget minded. I say like. I know you didn't put up like $400,000.
You have no idea how much money I put into this place. Oh my God. You didn't see this place when I first walked into it. It was falling apart. I'd throw hundreds of $1,000s in just to get it up and running again. Please come help me, guys.
He's fine. It's fucking black paint. I don't see anything.
You know what the cost of black paint goes for?
You need to change the lights.
They're really expensive.
I'm busting his chops. But it is a smart way to start.
Yeah.
I like to think you've created your own pop-up. Like we back in the day, I don't know if you remember, we did a pop-up where the coffee shop used to be. This was like 2011.
Yeah.
And for us, it was on they had the lease and everything. They had the liquor license. We just like sublet from them at night and operated under all their licenses and it was our way of dipping the toes in the water to see. We weren't on the hook for anything, but you've also created a scenario here where you're not on the hook like for like massive amounts, and you have this liberty way to play. And I think that's a really good way to start if you're trying to.
Well, I try. I'm looking at it from a long-term perspective. I came here not to be here for 3 months. I came here to be for a long time. I live here. I already have my other place. This is where I want to be.
And he survived the pandemic.
And I survived the pandemic, man. So
crazy.
So I wanted to look long-term. There's no reason for me to rush things into happening by January and it not be as great as it could be when we can take our time and build something.
Well, that's what I like, your lack of anxiety around the whole thing. You've just removed some of the pressure that a lot of business owners.
Yeah.
And he learns quick. I mean, for somebody who was only open for 2 weeks last year.
Right. But then, we were open after that and the whole summer.
You were open by summertime.
Yeah, right? By summertime. Yeah, we were open. Yeah. You can't be anxious about what's going to be in the next 2 months, man. You gotta as long, especially as where you want to go. Right. And if anything, the pandemic taught even the best plans that you can have, you're gonna have to adapt them and change them. So be ready for that.
I had other plans today, and I'm stuck here with him. So
it's true. It's true. Yeah, you think I was his first choice? I'm number 5.
You were. I've actually been thinking about this for a while, and I just sprung it on you the other day, and it worked out.
Whenever he gets caught for a second, oh come on, man, I need you. Sorry,
you're not bottom of the barrel.
It's no.
Close.
Listen, man, you gotta have standbys. I'm fine with being a standby. Totally fine. Any Friday I'll come in and talk for an hour. I don't care.
It's gonna be John for the next month.
Yeah, people will tune out. You'll lose all your viewership, but whatever.
That's already happened.
That's already begun. We're basically talking to each other.
We are.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a break. Just to give them a break.
Sure.
The one listener.
Yeah, that one that's still left.
It's not as bad as my brother's show. All right, we'll be back in a few, everybody. Hang tight. So you said something in the last segment.
I did?
You did. You said a bunch of things. But one of them at least was good. And what I was thinking when I was walking here is like you've taken something that you just thoroughly enjoy and you've turned it into a business. Like you were a teacher, you had a good job, probably like pension and
good job. I mean, it was a good paying job. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. You like a bunch of the boxes were checked off for you, but then you had this like itch.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I was more like
herpes.
I don't even want to like working at the schools, man. It was
like warts.
Yeah. I was scratching. Finally, I just
keep spreading, doctor.
No, you got to remove yourself from the environment after a while, man.
Yeah.
No, it was time, man. 20 years of being in the schools, going through a bunch of different scenarios and working with a bunch of different schools and seeing the same failures wherever I went, seeing the same like brazen just ignoring of those failures, especially when it came to tech, which was like my baby at the point.
Right.
I couldn't take it anymore. I figured, let me just do my own thing, man. And I got a nice place here. I knew this neighborhood, like I'd watched this neighborhood grow up. I saw like, how many parents were around here with children. I know if there was one thing that I'm good at, it's helping kids to have a good time, enjoying themselves while also, learning some things. That's what I've been doing for so many years. Yeah. So let me see if I can just apply it to the outside world. And I did,
And like, that's a keen observation. Anything that has to do with kids in this neighborhood, like, there's a way, like some way you can make money. There's a lot of motherfucking kids around here.
Yeah.
Well, we've each contributed 3.
That's right. Yeah, we've done our part.
We're like, we're like the everybody looks at us like, oh, they got 3.
I know.
Oh my God, we only have 1 or 2.
Right.
We took a plunge. I was talking about.
I feel like I'm just like the warning, like, oh guys, just really, please think about it before you have that 3rd child.
See, my old neighbor on Vanderbilt Street, she steered me in the opposite direction. I was out front with the older 2. It was way before my 3rd. And they were just being annoying.
Yeah.
They were at that age where it's just like,
that's just the age, which is any of the ages.
Any of the ages. No, this was like when they're young and just like, we were waiting for a car or something and they were just like being obnoxious. And she had 3 and she's kind of laughed and was like, when are you having the 3rd? And I was like, you of all people should be the poster child.
Right.
For like, I should have stopped at 2. And she's like, no, you got it all wrong. Making kids is kind of like making pancakes. The first one comes out fucked up. The second one, it's odd, but like it's getting better by the 3rd one. I just like hung my head. And then when we found out, you got a business call?
It's okay. I'll wait. It's probably it's a scam likely. Don't worry.
Really, he's like trying to be my competition. He's like, you got a few spots on the block. It's
That's
like
right.
Monopoly now.
No, yeah.
You gonna buy me out?
Nah.
Please.
Please do it. Come on. I'm begging you.
These are tears.
Yeah.
You got change for $1?
Yeah. or just some spare change.
Yeah, exactly. I got off track. Anyways,
a little bit.
The 3rd one. So maybe it applies to businesses too.
So you're saying I should open up a 3rd business?
This is like the oddly shaped one.
This is the oddly shaped one.
Right.
The
3rd one, you'll nail it.
Wow. So I haven't even really started this one. You're already calling this one the oddly shaped, like forgotten child of my business career. Okay. I mean, I'll take it as a compliment because that means that I'm going to go on to bigger and better things. But come on, man, I'm trying to enjoy this one right now.
I'm kidding.
But
I like your back to the serious conversation. The idea of gaming as an educational tool, you were talking about how like a lot of people don't see that as valid, but like look at the military, look at like armed forces.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that's why I brought the thing up about
dude. They piloted a submarine with an Xbox controller.
Yeah,
that's what they finally like. They were trying to figure out like how to do it, and like finally they were like, we have a controller that's like perfect for this kind of thing. Why don't we just use it? And they did. They modified the Xbox controller to use it.
So some of the most effective training these days for new recruits, whether it would be military or police departments, is virtual.
Sure.
You know, kind of training in simulators. And there have been arguments that, you know, some in the hands of some youths,
mm-hmm. The youths these days. What is a youth?
What is a youth?
No, I didn't do that at all. Right? Again, you can do
the judge. Yeah. What is a ute? I don't know. I didn't practice. I practiced.
Come on, man. From Tennessee.
Your Honor, the two youths.
Come on, man.
That in the hands of. I'm not on my game today.
All right. Yeah. No. All right. Never mind. I'm sorry.
I can do Chappelle.
All right. I don't. Okay.
I keep making references. To
I see that. Yeah, you're trying to get me to talk about that one. I'm not doing it, man. Not gonna happen.
You know that there was potential for like malice in the hands of a couple, but in general, it's like it's like really a great educational tool for getting them prepared, because you can actually simulate the stress
exactly
of the situation. And those guys in particular, they need to do that shit with entrepreneurs too. But you know, there needs to be like an entrepreneurial like game where it's just like the world is falling apart around you. You're watching your finances dwindle. The air temperature is getting hotter, and you're what do? Do you panic?
It'd be like one of those 4D experiences where like you just have like you ever go to the movie theater like in like we went to Legoland, and there's like the 4D experience where they like shoot like water in your face, right. Like that. Or it'll just be like people popping up, like asking you questions.
That'd be great. Yeah, exactly. And then you see if you can handle it.
I'll tell you, you want to funny shit, man. The most popular virtual reality game for the kids in my place is Job Simulator. A game called Job Simulator. It's awesome. They love it. They love Job Simulator, man. It's wacky. It's like funny. Like
is it like The Apprentice, and at the end Trump comes on and goes, God. You're fired.
That would be a totally different thing. No, this is just like you do like you're an office worker, or you're an auto mechanic, or you're a chef, and you just like do like these wacky tasks, and they eat it up. They love it like so much, and like I don't know why. I don't even understand. Like I have kids that come in, they play like Farming Simulator, you know, or like the tycoon games. They'll like build like their like Planet Tycoon, roller coaster tycoons. And
nice.
Like, they do all this crazy stuff, great. Man. I'm like, how, like it's so interesting to see like how many like different interests these kids will have like in these, you know, it's all video games, right? But it's like Farming Simulator is nowhere near, you know, Mario Brothers. It's just not. They're not the same thing.
Kind of far removed from like a average Brooklyn kid.
Right. But they love it. You know, they love this type of stuff. You know, and to be able to tap into that, and for them to find it on their own is the most amazing thing. Like I am a firm believer in education that the most meaningful moments that you have in education come when you find them on your own. So what I always try to do is just kind of sneak them in there. Like, oh, can you stumble upon this one and this one and this one? You know, discover it for yourself. Here you go. But I set the room up. I set the tone. Yeah. You know, and that's what always has kind of worked for me. And you see it. You see like that genuine moment of understanding, that eyes light up moment, and it's the best thing you can ever have.
And as a business owner too, I mean, that's a great approach for employees also, because you know, you bring people in for certain positions and you start to see over time like what really motivates them.
Oh, absolutely.
And if it's somebody that you want to keep around, that's something to dial into, because that way, you know, you're showing some level of empathy,
right?
You know, which is a commodity these days.
Well, I'm just starting to get used to that part too. You know, I didn't really have any employees before. Now I'm starting to have some people. And you know,
damn employees.
No, man. You know, it's all about empowering the employees and making sure that they can do, you know, what they want to do. Like, and I think that's a big reason. You know, we've had a little bit of this conversation before about, you know, the way that workers are leaving in droves from their places. And I think that has a lot to do with empowerment. You know, people are figuring out that, you know, I don't need to hate my job for, you know, most of my waking hours every day. Like I need to find something that provides a balance and makes me happy. And I'm all for that, man.
Right.
You know?
But they do need a paycheck.
They do need a paycheck.
And there's like a lot of people not working right now, and there's no more unemployment.
Right. Something's got to give. Yeah. Something's got to give. I'm
not sure how that's going to play out.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know the numbers of it.
Not judging anybody.
I do think that, you know, the most rare, well, I guess it's not a rare resource, but for us personally, the most rare resource we have is our time. It's the only thing that we can't get back. So to place any sort of number value on time seems like a meaningless sort of thing to me.
Well, have you ever like come up with the calculation? Like what is an hour? What does a waking hour cost?
Right. It's kind of like, what, if you wanted to get me somewhere that I don't really want to be, how much is that going to cost you?
Right.
And it depends. Like
or how much is it going to cost you?
Right.
Like if you have to go.
Yeah. If I have to go.
I do some sessions with a coach, and he's been a guest a number of times on the show, Dr. Lance Knob, and he talks about that all the time. He's always like, because guys will say, oh yeah, no, I got this, sweetheart situation. Sure. It cost me nothing. It's just like, all I got to do is go in there and do it. He's like, yeah, but that's time. It costs you something. Like evaluate that. That's investment. And it's funny, you see people get stumped.
Oh yeah.
And I love it. I can't remember what movie it was, in the 80s, where it was like, time is money. It's like, it's totally true. It's like Wall Street or some shit like that.
It's your most valuable resource. That's it. There's nothing more valuable that you have than your time.
You can't get it back.
You can't get it back, man. It's it. There's nothing you can do that's more valuable than your time. So like, yes, you should place a lot of value on that, and you shouldn't be miserable during your time. Like that's the major thing. Maybe if jobs weren't so freaking miserable for so many people, they wouldn't want to quit all the time. Like teachers is a perfect example. Teachers burnout is one of the highest in the field, right? In the first couple of years, teachers leave because the expectations are absolutely ridiculous.
And the training is shit.
You get, I was reading, I forget where I saw it, but it was like, imagine being trained to like drive a Porsche. And then you get put in front of a jalopy.
You're given a fucking semi, 18-wheeler.
That's the training for teaching is not realistic to the job. Like you're not, especially nowadays with what all that happened. Again, I think you're more of a social worker than you are of anything else, because you have to help these kids reconnect to the world.
And you've got teachers leaving en masse right now because of the vaccine mandate, and they're just taxing the ones that are staying more and giving them bigger
and bigger burnout.
I'm married to a teacher, so I get to hear all the dirt.
I was a teacher, and I'm married to a speech therapist who is in the school. So we know.
Very close.
We're there.
Very close to the heart of the situation.
Yep.
Speaking of time, we got one last break, and we'll be back and wrap this baby up. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, I promised John we were going to do nothing but talk about The Closer by Dave Chappelle.
Wait, what? I thought we were talking about my business now.
Education, boy.
Right.
It's using something fun to educate
the
people.
Space Station is now open on weekends.
Give them the spiel. Go.
So actually, now I'm very happy to say that the Space Station has expanded our services, and we are open a lot more than we were before. We are open for after school from 3 to 6. You can drop off for your kids there. We have hourly rates, $15. That's flat. You can do it online. Just make sure if you're new, you fill out a registration form for your child. We're open on weekends now, so that you can come in with your family, or you can drop off your kid. And there was a scary person at the window there. Sorry about that.
It is Halloween.
It is Halloween. It's true. And you can come in with the family if you want, or you can drop off with your child with us, and they can stay for a while. You can come in as a family and stay for a while and play. We are ready to go. We're ready to go for fun. You want to drop off your kids and go eat at Della's and
get a couple drinks,
and then stay there for a while and drink.
And talk about The Closer by Dave Chappelle.
This is what we're doing. He does it again. The synergy, he's got the restaurant, I've got the entertainment, man. Let's.
You're saying I'm not entertaining?
You are. It's true. You are entertaining. I've been in there a few times now. It's entertaining. Yeah.
And you're doing pickup from
the schools, from local schools.
Which ones are you doing?
130, 230, and maybe 154.
Maybe 154.
Yeah. You talk to us and we can do it. We figure it out. I have enough people now that we get the pickup going pretty well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's why I want to be able to offer, everything that people need, so that everybody's happy. that's my main goal.
And then the plans for the rest of what's the operating hours for the next 4 weeks?
Yeah, we're gonna be open on the weekends for fun stuff. I don't know if we'll be open during the weeks right now, because I'm kind of extended, kind of thin on everything, and we're kind of preparing for the next big step with here, and we have a lot of work to do in the building. But we want to, have as much, we want to be as open as much as possible. We want people to be able to know that we're open and they can come in and this is a good place to have a good time. And we'll be, doing, like I said, a little bit of food, popcorn and drinks, and people can come and drinks, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
And then you'll make announcements about the
and then we'll be sending out stuff
coming up.
Yeah.
So to kind of start to close up, I want to ask you what the biggest lesson as a business owner you learned during the pandemic was. Yes, now it's gotten serious.
Yeah, no, now it's gotten serious.
Now the hooks are in. Now you can't leave.
Right now you can't leave. Now you're in here. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things to have been learned.
Fire like 3 of them.
Right. I'd say flexibility is number one. If you are not flexible in this day and age to what is going to happen, because if you think you can predict the way that shit is going to turn out from here on out,
dude, I can't even predict one fucking night at Della.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, the last 3 Fridays were busy. Tonight's going to be busy. We'll be dead.
Right.
And then like Monday, I'm like the last 3 Mondays have been slow and we're slammed. Like you cannot predict.
So you gotta take that shit as it comes, man. And that's something that you really need to keep in mind when you're running this stuff. It's impossible, especially now. Like even back in the day, it was impossible to understand what the market was. But now with the way the things change, and there's all sorts of new things popping up, man. You have to really keep an open mind to it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of opening up a Crocs store in here. I was saying, we do that instead of anything. Like
Crocs?
Dude, Crocs.
The shoes.
Crocs, yeah, man. I went to like the outlets, you go there and like every store is like empty and there's a line around the block for Crocs, man. Everybody loves the Crocs and they have like, the charms on them and stuff, it's what a business, man. Dude, you find that stuff for the kids, man. That's what it's all about.
Just Crocs.
Just Crocs, man. Just Crocs. People be lined up around the block.
Crocs and drinks.
Crocs, yeah.
When you said Crocs, I was like,
Crocs and crepes. We do the crepes again.
I think the crepes they've
come on,
that ship has sailed.
That's a good name, Crocs and crepes.
Yeah, but shoes and food together. I think you're being a little too flexible there.
We'll serve the crepes.
Became a yogi master in the course of an hour.
Can you make croc-shaped crepes? No, it's just like a whole theme.
It would be easier to make a crepe taste like a croc.
Wow.
Than to make a crepe into the shape of a croc.
We'll go with that.
That'll be a hit. And with that, this is what he learned during the pandemic.
Yeah. No, flexibility, man. It's all about that.
No, that's great. Yeah. And what you said about like being you got to be like a social worker. I mean, you have to be that way for your guests, but also for your staff.
Right.
And then you got like neighbors and vendors and all these.
Yeah, approachability I think is another really important one to it. Especially now with everything that's been going on, like you need to be there as an outlet for people. We've chosen this life. We've chosen to be the faces of this thing that we're put together, right? So because of that, we have that responsibility to be that forward face. And people need that. People, will come to you and they use that, and you have to kind of understand that responsibility in a certain way. And
that's not easy. I mean, that was something that definitely I've always kind of known that in the food and beverage industry, but like over the last year and a half, it's really hit hard, and it's been at times when I've been like particularly tired and not up for it.
Right.
And it's still like only had like a handful of days off in the last year and a half, and I just keep reminding myself like, these people have been stuck in, like last January. It was crazy. Like people sitting outside to eat. And I'm like, but I get it. You've been stuck inside all day. You've been in your house. Like your significant others probably either on the other side of the room or in the next room. And they're doing the same thing. And your kids are running amok in there. And like,
this is like the only significant outside interaction you are going to
get. Crazy to me. Like they were just like, I will sit outside in 25-degree weather, like shaking, like park it up, just like, the wine is getting colder.
Have this interaction.
Just to get out and like have that little sliver. That's like that's a really great point, and just one of the ones that's the hardest, I'd say, on a day-to-day basis.
But for us too, though, when we do have those moments, we do have our secret weapons that we get to pull out whenever we need to.
What's that?
The wives. The other faces, and whenever we need them, they're there for us. I heard we love them so much.
I heard some complaints about that today already. But it's, one of the compliments that I've gotten a bunch of times lately, and I didn't know which way it was going to play out. We just didn't have any choice. Just like the whole family's there all the time. Before, they weren't. It was like I kept everything kind of separate.
Yeah.
And you're in a very similar boat where we live on the same block.
Yeah, there's no keeping that separate. Yeah.
It's really paid big dividends where even some of our reviews lately have been like, wow, this is like a throwback. Like you just don't see businesses like this anymore where like it's a husband and wife team and the kids are there. And if they're not helping, they're greeting or they're just like playing and doing.
I mean, you come into the place, you see our daughters playing together
like
in the
playing
front of the store.
Yeah. Digging in a pot, digging dirt out of a pot with a kitchen spoon.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And that, I mean, it just further kind of adds nuance to this, like this cool neighborhood. What this is what it used to be all the time.
Yeah, this is what neighborhood should be. This is the way it was in Brooklyn for a long time.
That's what people say when they come in now. They're like, and there's obviously there's some people that don't dig that, and if that's the case, then like
whatever, man.
Maybe there's a lot of other restaurants. Go eat at.
Yeah.
So
there's restaurants here everywhere. That's the thing.
Real quick, we gotta sign off. Addresses of both locations, Instagram or Facebook, social media, whatever you want to spit.
The big thing is Spacestation Prospect, man. 1240 Prospect Avenue. We have a nice website with all of the information that you might need up there. You can contact us for more information, or you can sign up for parties or after school or camps, anything that you want.
What's the website?
Spacestationprospect.com. Spacestationprospect.com.
You want to spell that?
No, I don't.
And your Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, all that
Space
station stuff. Yeah, same sort of thing.
What's the address here?
This is 1293.
1293.
Yeah. 1293 Prospect. And right now we're right on Prospect. You're not going to find us on the internet or anything like that. I haven't put us up there just yet.
Fucking speakeasy style.
Yeah. No, man, we're keeping it nice and
Got some bathtub gin.
Word of mouth sort of thing. We're just doing our thing. Eventually we will, when we're ready to be out there, we will be. And come on in, man. This weekend we'll be open. We're just going to be partying up. We have a lot of different games. If you want to bring kids for like, face painting or pumpkin carving or just some old classic video games or some shooting games and things like that, like carnival games. We got that. It's a
Stope.
Yeah.
Stope. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you came back on. You're official now.
Mm-hmm.
You're a goddamn entrepreneur, boy.
Oh shit.
That's what it feels like, right?
Well, I couldn't. I see you walking around with it, man. I gotta get it for myself. I couldn't get it.
It's awful. We all have that one. That like. So I saw somebody the other day on the street, and they were like, "Man, you look tired." And I was like, "Yeah, I am." But there's some solace in it.
No,
and,
there's nice.
I can't work for other people. Too much of a personality.
I hear you, man. I've done it for a long time. It's no fun.
Nice work, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
I hope you guys stuck around for a little
while. They all
Anybody who stayed long enough, you got a free
after.
coin. You got a free coin if you come to Freight on Prospect.
Mention the show.
Mention the show. 1 free gold coin. All right.
And one quote. You got to give us one quote.
Yeah. One quote from the show. All right. Good.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Peace.